I'm Elizabeth Les, an office manager here at Chartwell Agency, and I'm here today talking with one of my colleagues, Carly.
Hi, my name is Carly Smith, and I am a senior director here at Chartwell Agency.
And we're here today to talk about some of the public relation myths that are out there and the real strategies behind them. Because when I started here at Chartwell Agency, I had never been a part of a public relations and marketing firm. So the only things that I really knew about PR were things I'd seen on television or experienced in my other jobs. So today we're going to bust some of those myths and show what really happens behind the scenes. Our first myth is that we just send out press releases. Now, don't get me wrong, press releases are an important way to send out big announcements for your organization, but they're not the kind of thing that you just create and then just kind of throw out as a net. There's a lot that goes behind the scenes to actually get coverage for these stories. The first being creating the right kind of media list. You want to make sure it's up to date. You want to make sure you have the right agencies and the right publications on the list so that when you send it out, it gets into the hands of the right people. What do you think, Carly?
Absolutely, and I agree with all of that. And in addition to that, it's very important to know that you're not going to just send out a press release and the media is just going to cover it. You got to continuously do follow-up, whether that's via phone or via email. And in addition to that, you want to have a pitch. You want to have a hook and a story that goes along with your press release that would entice the media to cover it. So you've got your announcement, but what's unique about it? Do you have individuals that can be interviewed? What's the unique story that's behind it?
And our second myth is that you can get me on the Today Show, right? Or in Forbes, right today. Now, these publications are the number one for a reason. They have established thought leaders who have a long track record of providing value to these particular news agencies. And this doesn't happen overnight. To become a thought leader that can get into these kind of organizations, you have to write your own content, get it shared by other organizations, get quotes in other publications, smaller websites, and build your credibility up over time to share that you really have an important value to share for some of these bigger news agencies and publications.
Yeah, those are some really good points. And I would add that, you want to make sure that if there's a particular publication and even, past that, a writer that you want to cover your information, that you need to be following them on social media networks such as Twitter and sharing their stories so that they recognize your name and they want to give something back to you because you've been sharing their information. And in addition to that, you have to have a unique story to tell. If you want to be on the Oprah show or you want to be on a TED Talk or be in Forbes, what's your unique story that everybody else isn't sharing? Because these reporters get hundreds and hundreds of pitches a day, and yours is going to need to stand out.
Our third myth is that we only need PR in a crisis. Now, to be fair, TV shows, they come in, they get called in a crisis, and those PR departments and those dramas sweep it all under the rug in an hour or less. That is just not the case in the real world. To better deal with a crisis, you should be thinking in advance of what you might be facing if you have an idea of what things could happen, or at the bare minimum, start working on a plan so that everybody knows who your spokesperson is and how the communications are going to go out. Even starting with that is going to get you moving so much faster, and if you're not telling your side of the story, somebody else is going to do it for you.
Absolutely, Liz. And the other thing too is, no comment. We never advise our clients to say no comment or just sweep it under the rug or ignore the crisis. So in addition to planning for that, make sure that you are communicating your side of the story so that the real story can get out.
And the last one is PR doesn't make us money. Now, that's true. You can't click on a news story and go right and buy something. But there's what's called the rule of 7 that says that you have to interact with a customer at least 7 times before they're going to make a decision to make a big purchase. So by getting out with a news story, it's another way for you to reach your audiences in a completely different way that they may not be expecting. And it's one of those 7 ways that you're going to interact with that customer before they make that purchase.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's great for branding. So, if somebody sees a news article or, a news story that you've participated in, they might not be shopping around for your service or your product right during that time frame. But if you have a compelling story to tell and you have some great examples of why they should use your service or buy your product, they might think of it next time they're shopping for that particular product.
All right, so there you have it, a little peek behind the curtain as we bust some of these PR myths that are out there. We hope that you found it valuable. Remember, incorporating public relations into your year-long strategies is a great way to help plan for a crisis. Work on a strategy to make yourself a thought leader so that you can get into bigger publications. Get your press releases covered by news agencies so they don't just kind of get swept away and never covered. And it's another way to help reach your audiences in new and unexpected ways. If any of these are things that you think you need help with, reach out to Chartwell Agency. We can help.